So this is our agenda for today. We're going to wear the learning mindset so that our mindset is ready for learning. And we'll review our last week Mingla Sutta. So partly we learned a little bit of Mingla Sutta and a lot more on the duties of the kings, which is somewhat related to what we have been learning also. And we'll take Kahoot quiz and have a little fun. Then we'll have another fun with the break time music with Yakuji-sen. Then we're going to continue our Mingla Sutta part 21, or we're actually going to finish the duties of the kings. And we'll end with our aspirations. All right, let's have our Dhamma learning mindset together. I like to learn Dhamma. I learn Dhamma well. I enjoy learning Dhamma. I am happy learning Dhamma. Learning Dhamma is the custom at this. Dhamma go lulu chin then you java go eat. Lena Palmon so then you java go eat. Then you gen night will your nichai java go eat. Then you gen night your shin java go eat. Lela then you gen the kude night ga mimiro e seiko tita susai java go eat. Very good. Okay, let's review what we learned last week so that we can prepare for our Kahoot quiz. So as usual, we would like some volunteers to discuss about these slides. All right, so, okay, Tamingale Michelle, go ahead, Tamingale.
For the slide that says duties of wife towards husband. So before that, we talked about the duties of the husband to the wife, but the wife also has duties to the husband. And so basically, usually the husband isn't very organized, so the wife has to be well organized, and she has to be kind to their servants and attendants. She also has to be faithful like her husband, and she has to protect their wealth because he's gonna share it with her. And she also has to be skillful and like disciplined, and she can't be lazy. And she also has to be like really skilled.
Thank you, Tamingale. Thank you very much. Okay, who would like to discuss about other slides? All right, Yeti, go ahead.
Can I go in any order?
Yes.
Okay. The Lady is the movie about Aung San Suu Kyi and about the military and how she protests against it, and the National League of Democracy. Is that how you say it?
Okay.
And
yeah.
she's our leader. And yeah, right now things aren't good.
House arrest.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you to me. William, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to do this, but I can do that one. So next one. So the two slides on duties of kings. So we're going to do the one on the top right. So the first one, we learned a bit of it. So literally, generosity and charity really means that kings should not just hoard all the money for themselves, like many kings do, and they should give out and give out money to the citizens, or they're not going to be a good king in the end. And high moral character. So this relates to what's going on right now. Min Online, the leader of the military coup, does not have high moral character because he is killing many other people. And kings and whatever leader that you are should not be able to do that. And sacrificing everything for the good of the people, meaning you put your life for the people. And number 4, honesty and integrity. This is an obvious one because you have to be honest and integrity and integrous to your people, so that they will be truthful to you, and you guys can get along with each other one another. Kindness and gentleness. This one is an easy one as well. Well, you guys be friends and family with each other. The
Thank
people and the community.
Thank you, Ted. All right, Tami Tanyadi. Go ahead, Mingali.
Duties of kings. What do you call this?
Austerity.
Austerity of habits. He must lead a simple life and should not indulge in a life of luxury. He must have self-control, which means he cannot. He will not. How to say that?
So
Live in luxury.
you're right. Very good. Yeah, he should not indulge in luxury, meaning that he should not be spending taxpayer money or country money, going out with luxury car, living in a luxury house, eating expensive food, because he or she can't control their greed, right? So that's what it means by austerity of habits. Good. Okay, good. Move on to me.
Freedom from envy, ill will, and enmity. He should bear no grudge against anybody, which means he should not envy anybody or be jealous or
Yeah, very good.
And non-violence, which means not only that he should harm nobody, but that he should try to promote peace by avoiding and preventing war, and everything which involves violence and destruction of life means a good king should not kill anybody, and he should not start war, and he should try to prevent war.
Okay.
And promote peace. Patience, forbearance, tolerance, understanding. He must be able to bear hardships, difficulties, and insults without losing his temper. It means he should solve problems and explain situations calmly and not get really mad. Non-opposition, non-obstruction. This is to say that he should not oppose the will of people, should not obstruct any measures that are conducive to the welfare of people. In other words, he should rule with harmony, in harmony with people. I don't really know exactly what that means, but I know that all of these is like I think it means like he should be peaceful with people and not get people getting angry at him or something like that.
Thank you, Damiani. So very good. Now, some of you might be wondering, well, I'm not a king and I'm never going to be king. Why am I learning this? So what do you think?
Because you might be like a really big someone when you get older.
Yeah, very good. Well, very good to me. So your answer should be, why not? I could be the president. I could be a king. I could be a queen, right? I could be the prime minister. Even if you don't become one of those, like king or queen or prime minister, at least what can you be? You can be the leader. Good. These are the characteristics of the leaders, duties of the leaders. So you can replace the word kings, right, with leaders. You can replace the word he or she because, well, why do we use he here is during the time of Buddha, there's no female ruler or the queen, right? Most of the rulers of the country are males and kings. That's why they use the word he. But over here, we should use the word one, he/she, because each and every single one of you could become president. Okay, at least in this country, right? In Burma, no hope. So far. So all these 10 duties, even though Buddha said about the duties of the kings, but these are all the duties of the leaders. Whether you be the manager at your job, whether you run your own business, you are the leader, manager, owner of a store, a business, you're going to have these qualities, right? So that's the reason why we're learning. Of course, we want you to compare between what's going on today in Burma and compare the different leaders, right? You can even compare the presidents in this country, the recent president, the current president, and the former president, right? So very good. So now that you understand somewhat a little bit, so let's go to Kahoot. Okay. Okay, let's go to Kahoot here. All right, so this is about the duties of the wife towards husband, right? So what are some of the ways wives should show respect to husband? So by watching over the wealth, because a lot of time, especially in Asian country like India and Burma, the husbands are the one who makes money and the wife actually take care of the house and the kids, make sure that the money is not being spent on things that need not to be spent. So by watching over the wealth, showing that she is well organized, right? So especially the husbands are not that organized and the kids are all over the place, right? So the mommy is the one who actually has to organize, especially when you're young. But when you get to a little older, like my kids' age, then they should be organized themselves that, you know, the wife or your mommy will not have to worry about it. By being lazy, well, as a wife, because you have to do a lot of things, you cannot be lazy. By proving him with ornaments, no, that's the duty of the husband towards wife. So that these two are wrong. So a lot of you got it right. Very good job. Okay, let's see. Sophia Tom, good job. Eric, Sarah, William, and George. Leaders, good job. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, what are some of the duties of the kings? So there are 10 duties, right? Out of those, out of these 4, what are correct ones? Honesty and integrity, and you're gonna give charity to the people. You don't necessarily have to give inheritance to your son or next king. You can if you want to, but it's not one of the duties. It's nice though if you do so. Living in life or luxury due to his wealth. No, that's the opposite, right? So these 2 are the right answers. Good. All right, so Yeti went all the way up, and Sophia, Tom, Sarah, Eric, Josh are still keep the leaderboard. Good job. All right, get ready for next one. Okay, what are some of the characteristics of a ruler's high morality? So having high morality is one of the duties of the kings or rulers or the leaders, right? So as a leader, as a king, you should not be confused because you're drinking too much, right? Do not take intoxicating drinks, okay? Increasing the taxes on the poor people, you don't do it, right? So if you do so, people will not like you. People will revolt on you. Invade another king's country, you don't do that either. To utter truthhood, meaning you always say the truth, right? So these two are the right answer. A lot of you got it right. Very good job. All right. Okay, Eric's gone up. Good job. Good job, Eric. And the rest are keeping the leaderboard. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right, so this is one of the duties of the kings, non-obstruction, non-opposition. So you don't do any opposition. So you try to walk with people who follow you. You try to walk with citizens, your subordinates, your employees. Okay, so that's why this is the right statement. Very good. Okay, leaderboard is the same. Let's move on then. So which choice or choices best explain the ruler's duties of liberality, generosity, and charity? So the question itself has a lot of answers already, right? As a king, you're not really required or expected to do the accident thing because a lot of other people will take care of that. Now, give money away or give your wealth away for the welfare of the people. Keep it for himself, his friends, and his family? No. Should not have any craving or attachment. That's the right thing, right? As a Buddhist also. So these two are the right answer. So a lot of you pick on the red. It's a nice thing if you do so, but you're not required or it is not the duty of a king, right? So let's say if you go clean the toilet as a king, well, you can if you want to, but you are not using your time efficiently as a king because there will be someone else to clean the toilet, right? Now, the same thing, the accidents and stuff, it's nice if you do so, but you as a king is not required to. You can order people to go, hey, you know, there's an accident, go help them. But you yourself do not have to go do that because you have a lot more important things to attend on. Unless you're the only one on the street when the accident happened, then definitely you do so. Okay, that's the reason why this is not the right answer. Very good. Okay, Yeti's going up. Eric's going up. Pain, welcome to the board. And Sandra, welcome to the board. Very good. All right, so the 10 duties of the king clearly state that the king has to protect the people, even if it takes his own or her own life, right? So that's why the king is the one who protects the people. In return, people could protect the king, but the expectation as a Buddhist is the king is the one to protect the people, right? So that's why this statement is wrong. And a lot of you got it right. Very good. Okay, leaderboard is not changed. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so what are the duties of the kings in Pali? So that actually is the main topic of this discussion, right? So Dasha meaning 10, Raja meaning the king, Dhamma meaning the truth. So the truth about the kings, or the truth that the kings need to follow, right? So that's why this is the right answer. A lot of you got it right. Very good. Oh, leaderboard is not changed again. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this is just perceptive, your perception and what you think about the leader Aung San Suu Kyi, right? Does she fit into a lot of these criteria? So she fits into almost all the criteria. So yeah, the answer should be yes. So, that's amazing. Okay, let's go to number 9. All right, so some of you watched the movie with us last week, the lady. So that movie was about Aung San Suu Kyi and her family. So sad that her husband died of prostate cancer, very young age, and she couldn't go back. So poor husband died alone in England, right? So the answer is prostate cancer, not lung cancer. So,
and I noticed that the husband was in Harry Potter.
Yes, Remus Lupin.
right. You're right. Yeah, I'm glad that nobody picked blue one.
Wait, Tia,
Yes, that.
I have a question. Why did he die from prostate cancer and not from lungs cancer? I saw him smoke so many times.
That's
Very,
why I picked lung cancer too.
that's right.
Yeah,
Very good question.
he would have died because he was smoking a lot.
Very good question. Actually, one of the main cause of prostate cancer is also smoking. So smoking can cause cancer in all over the body. You are right. Most of the time, smoking will cause lung cancer, but there are a lot of other cancers related to smoking. That's the reason why your parents tell you not to smoke, because smoking can kill you in so many ways. One is lung cancer. Well, the other is prostate. Of course, if you're a guy, if you're a lady, you don't have to worry about prostate cancer because you don't have prostate, but instead you have what we call ovarian cancer, right? So as lady, if you smoke, you got ovarian cancer, right? Or you will get cancer in your private parts inside you. So smoking is horrible. So this is just a bonus question. So a lot of you got it right. Very good. All right. Hey, welcome to the board. And George, welcome to the board. Good job. All right, last question. All right, so what prizes did Aung San Suu Kyi win out of here? So there are several other awards that she received, okay, but these are the famous one. So she didn't really win in politics. So she actually won one of the highest one, Nobel Peace Prize. That's what a lot of people want. So you want Nobel Prize in science, you can win Nobel Prize in research. There are different types of Nobel Prize. But one of the highest one, and actually one of the original one, is Nobel Peace Prize. That's what she won. And there's another prize that she got with Shakrov Prize for Freedom of Thought. So she got these two. So a lot of you got this right. There are only a few of you. I myself didn't know this before. So don't be sad if you didn't get this right. So, very good. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, what's up? All right, so this week we're going to continue to 10 Duties of Kings for Buddhism Part 2. And last week we talked about the first and the second one. So we're going to continue with the rest. So we already read this. So, well, let's read it together again so that you memorize a little bit. So let's read together. Duties of Kings.
Duties of Kings, Dဿrya Zဓမ Number 1, liberality, generosity, charity. The ruler should not have craving and attachment for wealth and property, but should give it away for the welfare of the people. Number 2, high and moral character. He should never destroy life, cheat, steal, and exploit others, commit adultery, utter falsehood, or take intoxicating drinks. Number 3, sacrificing everything for the good of the people. He must be prepared to give up all personal comfort, name, and fame, and even his life in the interest of the people. Number 4, honesty and integrity. He must be free from fear and favor in the discharge of his duties, must be sincere in his intentions, and must not deceive the public. Number 5, kindness and gentleness. He must possess a genial temperament. Genial, sorry.
Go ahead.
Number 6, austerity of habits. He must live a simple life and should not indulge in a life of luxury. He must have self-control. Number 7, freedom from envy, ill will, enmity. He should bear no grudge against anybody. Number 8, non-violence, which means not only that he should harm nobody, but that he should try to promote peace by avoiding and preventing war and everything which involves violence and destruction of life. Number 9, patience, forbearance, tolerance, understanding. He must be able to bear hardships, difficulties, and insults without losing his temper. Number 10, non-opposition, non-obstruction. That is to say that he should not oppose the will of the people, should not obstruct any measures that are conducive to the welfare of the people. In other words, he should rule in harmony with the people.
All right, very good. Thank you. So, okay, so we discussed about the number 1 last week in detail. So liberality, generosity, and charity. The ruler should not have craving and attachment for wealth and property, but should give it away for the welfare of the people. So we discussed why a candidate for the president, especially in this country, needs to be rich or needs to have a lot of financial support. Either he himself or she herself is rich, or there should be a lot of people supporting him or her financially. If not, the chances of that once he won the power, he will be doing business for his own sake, not for the country, right? So for that reason, I mentioned that the President Trump and the Joe Biden, for the last recent election, they spent about $1.3 billion. That's a lot of money, right? So the good example is in this country, since people who are trying to become president, they are already rich, and they don't really focus too much on getting richer again. They just want to work for the country, or they just want to get fame or famous. Rather than money, they want something else. Whereas in Burma, right, like for example, military leader, they want to be the leader because they want to be rich. They want to get richer. They want to take advantage on poor people, right? So that's the difference between rich people and people who don't have money. Well, a lot of soldiers, they came from poor family. They have never seen enough money before. Now they really want to be rich. For that reason, when they got power, they do anything and everything to be rich. Once they're rich, they'll make other things so that their close families are rich. So that's what happened in Burma, right? So that's what we discussed last week. So let's move on. High moral character, we discussed about this also. He should never destroy life, cheat, steal, and exploit others, commit adultery, utter falsehood, or take intoxicating drinks. So look at what the Burmese military coup leader is doing. He is doing opposite of all of the above, right? So that's what we talked about last week. Now, let's read number 3 for me. Yeti, go ahead.
Number 3, sacrificing everything for the good of the people. One must be prepared to give up all personal comfort, name, and fame, and even one's own life in the interest of the people.
So these can be found in qualities of leaders. So since we are learning Buddhism, there's a very famous Buddhist story. One Buddha, in his prior life, he was the king of the monkeys. And in his group, there is a bad monkey. He also wants to be the leader. Now, one day, a king and his followers came hunting for monkeys. So now they are chasing after the group of monkeys, and monkeys run away. Now, there is a big river, and the group of all the soldiers and the king chasing the monkeys. So a lot of them are going to be killed. So what they do is they find a rope, okay, which is a vine, to cross the river, because the river is flowing very swiftly that if they actually cross the river, they all will die from drowning. So they got to cross the road through the vine. So unfortunately, what happened is that the vine is just about 4 or 5 feet short to get from this side of the river to the other river bank. So what the Buddha, the leader of the monkey group, did is he actually tied one small vine or a rope with the tree from this bank and hold the rope and actually fill the gap of the rope so that all the monkey can go step on his head and cross the river and be safe from the king. So what happened is that the bad leader is the last one to cross. So when the bad leader crossed, what he did is he actually stomped on the head of the the leader or Buddha to be monkey. So then at that time, the king got there. So one of the soldiers shot him. So he got the arrow. Then he let go of the rope because all the other monkeys are safe on the other side of the riverbank. Now the king got to him. So the king asked, hey, why did you do that? So he said, I am the leader of the group. Then why did that guy, the last monkey, stomp on your head? Oh, he hated me. He actually is my competitor. So he was happy that I am doing this and I am going to die. So after that, the monkey died, he died. So the king actually learned a very good lesson from the monkey king. So what I want to tell you is that for the interest of all people, whether you be an animal king, okay, human king, devil king, doesn't matter. You gotta protect your people, even if it takes your own life. Okay, so that's one of the characteristics of the leaders, right? So for you also, if you want to be a good leader, you gotta have all these. Okay. So, for example, our leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, what did she give up? How many of you know? She gave up a lot of things.
I know.
Go ahead, Da.
She gave up living in England. She gave up living with her children. She gave up living with her husband. And yeah,
Very good, Da. Very good. So,
basically the necessities.
very good. Very good. As a lot of you have been back in Burma. As you know, Burma is a very poor country relatively. So compared to living in United States or England or any other country, most of the country in Western world are very comfortable living, right? Now, as Thomas said, she gave up that kind of lifestyle and went back to Burma, where there is no electricity at times, no running waters at times, a lot of mosquitoes, right? So, so she also gave up her husband. We just talked about it. Her husband, Michael Eric, actually died from prostate cancer. She couldn't go back when he was dying, right? She had 2 handsome boys. She couldn't go back to take care of those boys, right? So she sacrificed her own life, her own husband, her own kids for the people of Burma, right? Now, what does she sacrifice? So what does this picture tell you?
She's locked up behind some kind of bar, a window.
Right, she's locked up. So she was actually put in house arrest for how long?
10 years.
On and off.
Around a month now.
Right. No, before this happened. So total 15 years.
3 years.
So if your mommy gives you a timeout for 1 hour, what happened? You're really upset, right?
No, not really.
Not really? Okay. Let's give Thomas a timeout for the whole lecture time. Thomas, stop playing little toys and just look at the lecture because it's a timeout. You want to try that? No.
No,
I don't
no.
even know what a timeout is.
Well, like, you don't like it, but you must accept it.
Yeah,
Okay, the timeout. Yeah, you're right. In Burma, we don't use timeout. In Burma, the parents just punish you, right? So in this country, we can't do that. We cannot really hit with a cane or anything. So the timeout basically is you can't do anything. You can't touch your electronic. You can't do any games. You are basically, they call it here also grounded, meaning that you can't do anything. So you are punished. So that's, but here, house arrest, she cannot come out of her house on and off for a total of 15 years. So if you can't stand maybe 30 minutes or an hour, sometimes even 10 minutes of timeout. Think about 15 years in house arrest. So that's what she sacrificed. She sacrificed her life, her time, her husband, her kids, right? Now, even more so. Now look at this picture. What do you think? What do you think is happening here?
They're bullying a car with sticks.
Right. Yes, you're right. So actually, once she was released from the house arrest, so she was actually going around the country, and the military dictators hired a bunch of thugs, and they actually paid money to kill her supporter and to kill her. She was in the car. They tried to kill them and her, and they actually shot her. Luckily, she did not die, right? So she actually sacrificed her life for the people, right? Military tried to kill her, but luckily she survived, right? So it's actually called the Pain Massacre. So it's happened in a little town called Pain in Upper Burma, right? So that's what military did to her. So you see, you must be prepared to give up all personal comfort. Did she give up her comfort? Like Thomas said, yes, she did. Name and fame, right? So we'll talk about that later a little bit. They actually call her so many names, and they defame her in so many ways. Just because she married to an English, a British. So they call her so many different names, and her own life, right? In the interest of the people. So you as a leader, there are things that you have to do. You gotta be prepared. You gotta be ready for this if you wanna be a great leader. Okay. All right. So number 4 is honesty and integrity. Where could you read this for us, please?
For honesty and integrity, one must be free from fear and fable, and the discharge of one's duties must be sincere on one's intentions, and must not deceive the public.
Okay. So one must be free from fear. So those of you who watched the movie will know that a lot of soldiers are pointing the gun barrel at her, and a lot of her followers said, no, don't walk in there. They are going to shoot you. Instead, she did
just
walk.
calmly walk through the guns.
That's right. That's right. That's actually famous, right? So that's what you saw in the movie. So one must be free from fear. We all have fear in our blood, right? We have fear of everything and anything, right? We fear that your mommy will ground you. Your mommy will not give you the toy that you want. Your daddy will say, no game today, no electronic today, right? No going to your friend's birthday today, right? So those kind of things, we all have fear. What if my father die? What if my mother die? What if my brother die? What if I got an accident? What if I got a B- in score and my mother will be mad at me? So we are living with so much fear always, right? But you as a leader, has to be free from fear, right? So this is her code. Read this for me. Who want to read? Kenneth, can you read this?
Me.
Me, please.
Can I
All right,
read?
okay, tata phone that, yeah.
Raise hand.
Phone card ba? Phone card go ahead.
The only real prison is president or prison is something like is prison is fear, and the only real freedom is freedom from fear.
Very good. Thank you. So in fact, this is kind of somewhat copy from Buddha. Okay, but these are hard exact words, but Buddha mentioned pretty much exact same thing. The only real prison is fear. And the only real freedom is freedom from fear. So if you have fear, you are not having any freedom, right? So for example, I'm not having any freedom because I am scared of so many different things. I'm scared that I will lose my wife, I will lose my kids, I will lose my job, I will lose this, I will get an accident, this and that. Right? So I'm not in freedom. Now, Ming Online, now he is the ruler, right? But he has a fear. What if he loses? Right? What if people actually win and put him in jail for killing innocent people? He is in fear, right? So, but she is not in fear. So she is free from fear and favor in the discharge of one's duty. So when you're doing your duty, you should not fear. You should not be afraid. Must be sincere in one's intention. Your intention has to be sincere. Your intention as a leader is for the country, for the people, for the followers, right? And must not deceive the public. What is deceive? You trick.
Make people hate you.
Right, very good. So like basically deceive me, you give fake news, you lying to people, right? So you don't do that. So does military government do this kind of deceiving people?
No.
No, they don't. Okay. Anybody?
Wait, do you mean in the US?
No. I'm talking about.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about US. Does the president deceive people?
Which one?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Let's say Donald Trump. Donald Trump, did he deceive people?
Yes, he did not let any foreign people come into America.
That's not what he did.
Right, he did deceive a lot of things, right? So he actually was not a good king either.
It's fine.
Joe Biden is.
Okay, so talking about deceiving, there is something called big line theory. How many of you heard about it?
Wait, can you repeat that again?
How many of you know big line theory? Anybody? No.
No.
No. Tata Hein, are you here? Hein Ted,
Yes.
do you know what big line theory is?
Let me think.
Yes.
Yeah, who know it? Tell me then. Tell us what a big line theory is. Go ahead. The phone can, yeah, you can go ahead.
I think I may know. Is it the use of propaganda that may or may not be real?
Okay, so very good. So big line theory actually became famous because of Adolf Hitler. So Hitler, let's see. So it was started by this guy, not by Hitler, but Hitler made it famous. So, all right, Marina, could you read this for us, please? If you
tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, everyone will eventually come to believe it. Joseph Goebbels.
All right. Okay. So if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. Now, that's actually true, right? So if I tell Sophia Ton is a boy, and people will not believe me, right? So, oh, Sia, you must be crazy. But if I keep on saying, Sophia Ton is a boy, Sophia Ton is a boy, Sophia Ton is a boy, and I call her he instead of she and his instead of her,
No offense.
now after several months, people will start believing,
No offense.
right? So now that theory started by this guy, but who actually made it happen is the Hitler, right? So Hitler used that and he said, line, make a big line, make even bigger line, and line again, and people will believe you. So unfortunately, that tactic was used by Donald Trump also, right? You just lie and lie and lie again, people will believe you. But unfortunately, yeah, it may be true for a short while, but long run, people would not believe you, right? Now, Hitler in the history became a bad guy, right? Now, Donald Trump, yes, he was a president, but a lot of people didn't like him either. So, all right. So those of you who know how to read Burmese, what is this saying? Yamalin is a newspaper. Yes, that's the Burmese official newspaper by the government. So what are they talking about here? All right, Tamitan, you want to tell us what's this newspaper is talking about?
I can just read the headlines.
Yeah, go ahead.
ရွှေတကုန်းစေတီတော်မြတ်ကြီးအပါဝင်ပြည်နယ်နှင့်တိုင်းဒေသကြီးအသီးသီးရှိဘုရားစေတီပုထိုးများအခြားဘာသာရေးကျောင်းများ၌အများပြည်သူများစိတ်အေးချမ်းစွာလာရောက်ဝတ်ပြုကြည်ညိုလျက်ရှိ
So what day was this? Can you read the date? So right above that is February 22nd, right? So it just is 5 days ago. So when you look at the pictures, what do you see?
Loads of people.
Lots of
lot of people
what do you
in a
think?
crowd
What do you think they're doing?
protesting for Austerity.
They
I
are
see them standing.
They are actually protesting against the military coup in Burma, right? But what did this government newspaper line? So Tom, what was that Burmese saying?
It says that the citizens are like at pagodas and stuff.
Yeah. Look at what kind of line that is, right? So it's a Buddhist country, they know. So thousands and thousands and thousands, in fact, millions of people are demonstrating against the military coup, and they came out on the street. So the military nasty government, what did they say? Oh, people are very peaceful, they're so happy, and they're going to the pagodas all over the country.
Oh wow.
Exactly.
The military lies.
Yeah, military lines, right? So that's what they are using. That's
I
the
wonder how many people believe that.
oh, I'm sure a lot of people believe that.
No.
And
Does it look like they are happy?
It kinda-
No, it looks.
It's
I think they're angry.
I don't think thousands and millions of people will arrive in the same place to go to a pagoda. No, I don't think so.
right, you're right. But that's what the nasty governments use, right? So the Burma military leaders are using the big line theory because they have used this before and they're using it again. They basically are following Adolf Hitler. Line and line and line bigger, even more bigger lines, and eventually people will believe in it. And actually,
My mother once said that the citizens throw humongous rocks at their trucks, but we just throw pebbles.
yeah.
Wait, isn't it kind of like what our parents do? Like, you know, a white lie, for example. They say, oh,
I
like
don't
when
think
you're a
it's a
little
white
kid.
lie.
No,
Wait, like when you're like a little kid, your
the-
I don't
parents
think
say,
it's a white lie. No.
like, you know how they do say something to make you believe that so you cannot go there. For example, oh, don't go there. There's gonna be humongous dogs like on this background here that's gonna bite you.
right. So white lines are the ones that are set to kids so that you don't do bad things, so that you don't get into trouble. This is not a white line. This is a total horrible line, right? It's a plain, blatant line that people are protesting against the military coup, but military is saying that people are so peaceful and they're going to the pagoda. What a shame.
What if parents do that?
So that's what a lot of politicians use these days. Also, some politicians are what we call pathological liars. They lie and lie and lie because even though they know that it is not right, but they want to win the power. They want to gain the power. Then they follow this theory of big lie because they follow the Hitler. So you will notice when you get older, you will get involved with a politician one way or the other, and maybe some of you yourself will become a politician and we'll be very glad. But we do not want to see you using this big line theory though, okay? It is not good for you, for your conscience, for your people, and you will not be a Buddhist. So make sure you don't use this big line theory. Okay, let's move on with number 5, duty of the leaders. Okay, Miranda, could you read this for me, please?
One must possess a genial or friendly and cheerful temperament.
Okay, so it's better to pronounce genial rather than denial. Well, some people pronounce it, but I prefer the other way, right? So genial is kind of calm. That's what the meaning is. Like denial is like denial. So, but some people pronounce like that. That's okay. So the one meaning here, the leader or the president or the king must possess a genial, which is friendly and cheerful temperament. Okay. So you will see that in Aung San Suu Kyi face all the time. Whereas military leaders, by nature and by training, their job is to be stern and tough, right? So you can't really be a king or the leader of the country just by this definition, because those military people, they don't understand this. So we'll move on a little bit because we're going to discuss about this more later. Number 6, Kira, could you read this for us, please? Austerity of Habit. One must.
Okay. One must lead a simple life and to not in a
life of
in a love of luxury.
Okay.
One must have self-control.
Okay. So austerity of habit. Now here it does not say austerity. It's totally austerity of habit. So what are the habits? Andrew.
Hey, can you repeat the question again?
Oh, what are the habits? What does it mean by habits here?
Habits are basically how you behave.
Yes, how you behave, right? So here, the word austerity means you control, okay? You do what is necessary to be done for your life, right? You don't do it excessively just because, okay? Or just because today is Sunday, I am going to sleep till 11 a.m., right? So today is your school day, or today is my birthday, I'm going to do this, do that. Those kind of things, you as a leader, you do not do that. You lead a simple life, right? Keep it simple. That's my motto. One of my greatest mottos that I follow is keep it simple. So now, because the Burmese leaders, they know the 10 duties of the king. So the prior military government or quasi-government, okay, who thinks they try to show this, and they will advertise the president's austere breakfast. So they will show the king or the president thing saying, eating a little breakfast with nothing much on the table. So they do that just for show, just because they know this. Just they're trying to make their character fit into this 10 duties or 10 criteria by Buddha, so that Burmese people who are Buddhists, who are majority of Buddhists, will think that, oh, they're the great kings. But unfortunately, that really is not true. It's just for show, right? But you as a leader, you're going to lead a simple life, right? You don't live in a mansion. You don't drive very expensive car, right? But if you look at our military leaders in Burma, their houses are very expensive mansions. They drive very expensive cars. Their families are so rich. So they are definitely not living in austerity of habits, right? Whereas Aung San Suu Kyi, she just lived in the house that she inherited from her father, okay? And she used to drive around with a little old Toyota, who actually were donated to her by people who supported her. So the austerity of habits is also very important for everybody, for all of us, actually. You don't have to be a leader to practice this duty. You as a Buddhist, you as a human being, you don't even have to be a Buddhist. This is a good practice to be in austerity, right? So whether you drive, okay, a very expensive car or a cheap car, as long as it's safe, it's the same thing. So why do you want to waste your money? Now, especially if you are the leader of your group or your company, okay, your team, your business, your country, you're going to be the example so that you're not wasting your money, so that you're not wasting taxpayer money. Okay, so we can keep on going about this austerity of the habit, and it will never end, because it also talk about how you eat, how you sleep, right? How much money you spend, right? So for example, if I wear a $5 shirt from Walmart versus if I wear a $200 shirt from any, I don't know, like Louis Vuitton. I don't even know where Louis Vuitton sell shirt and stuff. So it doesn't matter. As long as it gives me protection, it protects me from shame and weather, and that's enough, right? So the austerity of the habits are very important for each and everybody. It doesn't have to be the president, doesn't have to be the leader, doesn't have to be the king. Okay. All right. We're going to go to number 7. All right. Jackson, could you read this for us, please?
7. Freedom from envy, ill will, and enmity. One should bear no grudge against anybody.
All right, very good. So freedom from what? Well, if you envy meaning that you're jealous of someone else's success, or you have ill will, you think bad about others, you think, okay, I want to do negative things to that person. Oh, you know what? I hate that girl. I'm going to do this and that, and that's the ill will, right? Enmity, meaning you're going to endanger other person. So one should bear no grudge against anybody, doesn't matter who, even if you're enemy. So look at this picture. Maybe some of you might know who these guys are. Well, definitely the lady is Aung San Suu Kyi. Who are the other 2 guys who know?
I think I know the middle guy.
Who's the middle guy?
The military. The military.
The military.
The
Members of the military.
Okay, let me know who are
I
those.
think they're like really high.
The middle one and the one on the right is Min On. Well, the middle one is Min Aung Hlaing, and he's the president of Burma right now, and he's a bad president.
Let's raise hands.
All right, Thomas, that's the wrong answer. That's the wrong answer.
No, it looks nothing like me online.
Right. So
No, it kind of looks like it.
yeah. Okay. So
I
well,
don't
of
think
course
he
they are
wears
all from
glasses.
military and they wear the same uniform. So So these guys are before Ming Online, right? So these are the guys who actually orchestrated to put her in jail, to put her in house arrest, to actually try to kill her. She knew, right? But when she gained the power, when her political party won, did she do anything to these guys? No, she did not, right? People were actually very upset and angry that, hey, you got the power. Why are you letting go of these guys? She didn't, right? If I were her, I would be really upset and I will be like, okay, you tried to kill me. You put me in jail for 15 years, right? You made me suffer, not to see my husband, not to see my kids, right? You called me so many bad names. All right, now I'm going to put you back in jail so that you suffer the same way, right? But she did not, right? She does not do that because she has this quality of the leader or the king, freedom from envy, ill will, and enmity. So here the word should bear no grudge against, meaning that you do not take whatever they did to her as negatively, right? She is such an amazing lady, right? So I don't know if each and every single one of you, if you put your shoe in her shoes, would you be able to forget these guys?
No.
I don't think so. I can't, right? But she could, and she didn't do anything to these guys, right? So that's how she fits into this criteria of freedom from envy, ill will, and enmity, right? These guys are really nasty. And you see this guy, so he was the leader of the Burmese military spy unit, right? He was the top guy. So then, you see, because of the karma, he actually was put in jail, but he never changed. So, but these guys never change. But she never took any grudge against these guys, right? She is very forgiving. I can't. All right. So, okay. Andrew, read this for me, please.
Which means not only that she should harm nobody, but that he should try to promote peace by avoiding and preventing war, and everything which involve violence and destruction of life.
Look at this. So the number 8 duty of a king or a country leader is non-violence. What does it mean by non-violence? It means not only that he or she should harm nobody. You as a king, you as a leader do not harm any citizen, but that he should try to promote peace by avoiding and preventing war and everything which involves violence and destruction of life. So look at this. People are peacefully protesting and Anand, right? Peacefully and reciting, right? Then this is military, putting all these barbed wires and guns and here. For what? Right? These people, they don't have any weapon. And instead this nun meditating, reciting, right? Now these guys holding guns, all these barbed wires. So this definitely is the violence the government, the present military government is given. Now, this is not the very first time. So what do you see here?
Guy was also going to kill a monk.
Right. So that's what they did. So there was what we call saffron revolution or Shui Hua Yang Tonglan, meaning a lot of monks, right? They couldn't stand it anymore. So because the people of Burma are the one who are supporting the Sasana and who are supporting the monks, because people donate, right? People donate food, offer food, pay respect to the monks. But when the people are suffering, So the monks also stood against the military dictatorship. Guess what? So these so-called Buddhists, they don't mind killing monks. They did kill monks. They actually torture monks. So these are the people who they hire. So these guys actually hit monks and torture monks. So definitely these guys are going to go to hell forever. They are never going to come out of the hell, but they did not care, right? So they definitely do not have this quality of to be a king. Now, you may not see it very clearly because this photo is shot from maybe 4 or 5 stories above. So, but you can see what's happening here. Tata Dylan, could you read this for us? What's here?
Riot police and Myanmar intimidate a pregnant woman in Yangon's
Yenigon?
Minigon during a crackdown on anti-military regime protesters on Saturday.
All right. So look at, if you really look at it, she is pregnant. She is carrying a baby here, right? So probably she is protesting against the military government. And now look at all these police guys trying to intimidate the pregnant lady with the guys, the old guys, the big, macho guys carrying guns and intimidating a poor lady who is pregnant. Well, according to Buddhism, you are supposed to give respect to every single person, right? And you pay respect to Sangha, you pay respect to mothers, you pay respect to mothers to be pregnant ladies, right? So when you take a bus, when a pregnant lady come up, you gotta give the seat to that pregnant lady, right? But look at all these nasty guys in Burma. These guys supposed to be Buddhist, wearing police uniform and threatening a pregnant lady. So sad, right? So that's because the king is ordering them to do those kind of things. And also these guys, even though they are educated, they don't think right. They do whatever they are asked to do. So not only the king will go to hell, these guys are going to go to hell too, because they are not practicing Buddhism and they are doing bad, negative karma. So definitely the current military leader, Min Aung Hlaing, does not have this quality of to be a king. So hopefully in this country, hopefully our current president has these qualities and hopefully they will not do this. All right, so this is number 9. Okay, all right. William, could you read this for us?
One must be able to bear hardships, difficulties, and insults without losing his or her temper.
Okay, so the benign quality of to be a leader, to be a president, to be a king or queen is you gotta have patience, forbearance, tolerance, understanding. So even though it's just one thing, so it has 1, 2, 3, 4, a lot of stuff, right? So one must be able to bear hardship. Can she bear hardship? Yes, right? We just talked about it, what kind of hardship she had to go through. So the military government actually made her family leave when her father, General Aung San, died when the original military government took over in 1962. At the time, even I was not born. They actually put her family, her mother and her in exile to India. Now, from India, she actually went to high school in India because she had no other choice. And then she ended up in England. So in fact, that was the military government who framed this, who actually made her leave the country, made her mother leave the country, went to India, then she went to England. So she had to go through a lot of hardship as we just discussed, her husband died. She's away from her kids, right? So difficulties. We talk about this. People military governments that tried to kill her. Luckily, she survived, right? A lot of insult. So this is just one example that they call her a dog or a B word. So
Is this Lisa, is it supposed to be a good one or a bad one or a joke or something?
oh, this is a bad one to me. This is a bad one. So this is what they call her. They mean in the military, people who support military government, people who are those.
Oh, okay.
So they are calling her as a dog or B word that I don't want to say, right? They are actually calling General Aung San as a dog, and they're calling her as the daughter of the dog, right? They're calling who support her, like you and I, as the daughters of the dog. So, but there are so many insults like that, and she didn't care. Some of you, a lot of you may not
She
know.
must be used to them then.
Well, in Burma, there are also a lot of people, not too many, relatively, but there are still a lot of people who support military because that's how they made it happen. So, for example, you see a monk. So this monk is the one who actually defamed Buddhism. Because of him, Buddhism actually got a lower status because he said very nasty profanity from his mouth, even though he is wearing a robe. So he said a lot of bad things about her. He said a lot of bad things about others. He is the supporter of the military. So,
Really?
but she actually did not react to that, right? So she was patient, tolerant. She understood, right? She did not lose her temper. If I were her, I would have lost my temper. I have lost it, right? I would be dead by now by stress if I were in her shoes, but she was a steel lady. So that's what you have to have if you want to be the leader in your group. You got to be patient, tolerant, and understanding. Okay, Tami, so if your turn, you want to read number 10 for us?
Did that monk get in trouble for it?
Tami, go ahead, Miton. Did the monk get in trouble for it? So yes and no. So because he supported the military government, so when Aung San Suu Kyi government took over, they told him, okay, you don't do that as a monk, because he was using all these negative and profanity words as a monk, and he was actually lowering the image of Buddhism all over the world. So they warned him. He did not stop. He did not say all these negative things and stuff. So they actually put him in jail. But guess what? Now military government took over. What happened now?
He got back out.
Yes, because he supported military government. Military government support him. So now he's released. So, all right.
Is it possible that the military will end up in hell longer than they were dead because they tortured the monks and he only tried to hurt?
Yes, definitely. You are absolutely right, Tami. All right. Okay, Tami, so if your turn, you want to read number 10 for us?
Non-opposition, non-obstruction. That is to say that he or she should not oppose the will of the people, should not obstruct any measures that are conducive to the welfare of the people. In other words, they should rule in harmony with the people.
Thank you, Tami. So number 10 is also very important. What's happening right now is totally against this number 10 quality of a ruler or a king. Non-opposition, non-obstruction to what? To what your people want, right? in Burma, majority of the people, there are about 60 million people in Burma, right? Majority of the people do not agree with military coup. That's the reason why they are protesting on the street, right? So here, the military government is doing the opposite. That is to say that he or she should not oppose the will of the people. What is the will of the people today? The will of the people is military go back to their barracks and military do their job. And the government in the country has to be done by the party or the leader who the people elected, right? So that's the will of the Burmese people, but military said, no, I want the power. Should not obstruct any measure that are conducive to the welfare of the people. Well, forget about that, they're killing the people, they're killing their own people. In other words, he or she should rule in harmony with the people. Well, is that what Main Online is doing right now? Not at all. Main Online is
No.
the opposite, right? He is against the will of the majority. He is killing the people. He
He's
is,
changing rules,
that's right.
law.
That's right. So that he can do what he wants, right? So, but when you look at Aung San Suu Kyi, by the way, who is this guy? Who is this old guy? Gandhi, right? Why is Gandhi famous for? But the peaceful protest, right? The same thing that Aung San Suu Kyi is doing. Gandhi is famous for peaceful protest. Why do you think she followed Gandhi?
Because he did the right thing.
He did the right thing. So number one is by the once she grew up in India, as I told you, right? Her high school was in India. So at the time, so the Gandhi was really famous. Gandhi fought against who? British government, right? So British government was actually controlling almost all of the world, especially India and Burma. So Gandhi actually opposed the British government. British government was so powerful at that time. He opposed against the British government also with the peaceful opposition, right? So she actually followed him, right? On the other hand, Gandhi was Hindu, but also followed Buddhism. So this is her code. This is a little confusing for some of you. Let's see, Dr. Patrick, could you read this for us? I do not
hold to non-violence for moral reasons, but for political and practical reasons. Aung San Suu Kyi, AZ quotes.
Thank you, Beth. So I do not hold to non-violence because for moral reasons, okay, but for political and practical reasons. So what she is really saying is that non-violence is my way of doing politics. Non-violence is my way of practicing things for my country, for my people, right? She's just not saying it, she's practicing it. So that's what basically she's saying. This is what I believe in, this is what I do, that's my politics, that's my practice. So that's why I put in here a Gandhi and her code here. So because she followed this. So these are the 10 qualities of the kings and the queens or the leaders, right? So that's the reason, and I have discussed with you that Aung San Suu Kyi, our leader, has all the qualities of being the leader, being the queen, being the king. Whereas the military dictatorship does not have any, right? For those 10 reasons, I salute her, I follow her. For those reasons, majority of the people in Burma follow her, right? Unfortunately, military government is stay holding the power, trying to kill more and more people, right? So for you, you probably would not understand much because a lot of you live in this country and I'm born here, Burma, yeah, whatever. So if you have that kind of mindset, I want you to change, because even if you're not born in Burma, you are part of Burma because your parents are from Burma, number one. And number two, there are a lot of people suffering from these military dictators, right? We should help even poor animals. But over there are sort of millions and millions of human beings suffering right now. So even if you don't do anything right now, when you get older, we want you to do something. We want you to follow these 10 qualities of a leader, right? Even if you become a president or not. If one of you become president, I will be very happy. Hopefully you will remember me. If one of you become a senator, right? I'll be very happy. If one of you become a leader in your group, a manager or director, CEO of a company, I'll be very happy. Or one of you run your own business and become the owner and leader, I'll be very happy. And I expect you to practice these 10 qualities of leader. Okay.
I already have ideas for my future, and it's going to be good.
Thank you. That's very good. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to stop here for today.